What's up, guys? Welcome to Chasing Pelagics. My name is Jeff, and this is your SoCal fishing forecast for Thursday, October 27th. Quick look at here our 10-day weather pattern. It's definitely coming into fall here, much cooler temperatures. 70 degrees throughout the week into this coming weekend. It warms up just a little bit, and then we have a potential for rain coming up next week. Quick look at our windy.com forecast here. We are sitting here looking at Thursday, and we pretty much have the same wind pattern holding for the next several days. Medium northwest winds. We have a little bit of a northwest wind swell out there right now. This is going to be a little bit heavy on the outside, but shouldn't really affect the inner waters too much. Had that 15 knots hanging out here through Friday into Saturday. Again, this is just that fall pattern is coming into swing here, and pretty much get the same conditions for the most part. As far as actual conditions, I always recommend you to check out the latest marine forecast or wind forecast before you leave the dock. This time of year, things change rather quickly, so you never really know what's going to be like until the day of, or even sometimes a few hours before things do change. So, marine forecast. This is what we're talking about here on the outside. Currently got that northwest swell 3 to 6 feet at 9 seconds this evening, Wednesday night. That's going to hang out tomorrow, about the same size, but variable wind, saying 10 knots or less. So just had that stuff on the outside that's going to sneak through here. So fishable? Yeah, it's fishable. Not really for private boats. Probably be really annoyed with a 6-foot swell at 9 seconds. It's going to take you a long time to travel uphill. That's for sure. So that's the conditions we got for now. Let's talk about water temps. This is going to be the story here. So here is the 8-day chart, and this is pretty much how things looked like when I left on my trip on Friday night. This is the best representation of what the chart was, and then we're going to go to the 3-day chart, and that's what that little windstorm did. So as I mentioned, I usually takes 2 pretty good windstorms to really put the cap on the end of the season here. And as I mentioned last week, I thought that was going to be the first big one. And yeah, there we go. So quick little synopsis of last week. So I was supposed to be on a 2-day, and we saw that wind was going to be blowing 25 knots. So we decided to shorten our trip to a day and a half. And then the forecast got worse. So we decided to short it to like an extended overnight. So we still left the dock about 9 p.m. Friday night, headed out west to Tanner. Like I had mentioned last week's forecast, a lot of the school-size fish was being caught on the high spot, and some of the bigger stuff was off in the deeper waters. However, we got there probably about 4 a.m., somewhere around there. There's a couple other boats there. And then by sunrise, it looks like everyone gave up on the jig game in the deeper waters. And I think there was like over a dozen boats surrounding us. So hoping for that first bite in the morning, and it did not pan out. Nobody got bit. And really the reason for that is because the conditions changed. We were looking at the high spot itself. Sorry, look at this 8-day here. The high spot itself was actually in warmer water. It was in the 69, 70 degree water. And Saturday morning, we were sitting in 65 degree water. So completely different conditions, and very much looked just like this chart right here. So what we ended up doing, we bailed out on the bank, and we started sliding a little bit east, and eventually we were going to start heading to Cortez, but we found pretty good volume of fish. It wasn't really like a one specific school. Really not a whole lot of surface signal whatsoever, even on the bank whatsoever. A lot of sonar fish, really between like 180 and 240 feet. And that typically, when they're spread out like that, they're on the move. They're not settled in. and that's really why we didn't see anything on the surface. Usually, when they kind of settle it in, they tend to bite a little bit better. But again, we are at the end of the season here, and these things are moving, heading south. So we ended up spending the day basically sinker rig fishing, or we had some jigs going too, a little bit of fly line, a little bit of sliding sinker. We pretty much gave them hell on everything, and we ended up with seven on the boat. Definitely lost some. Manny was on fire. I think he went 4 for 7 on the sinker rig. I mean, everyone was trying to copy what he was doing. It was his birthday, so he had an awesome birthday. But we fished. I don't know, scatterfish out there. I never got bit, and I fished down to 20-pound test and the number 2 hook, fly line, and 40-pound on a sinker rig. Never got bit with a number 2 hook. Manny caught all of his on 60-pound. It was like a number 1 hook. But yeah, he's just having a fantastic birthday, making up for all those days that he missed this year when he's working his butt off. But we thought we were only going to be able to fish till like 2. And the wind didn't really come up as bad as it was saying. It was saying this would be like 25 knots at 2. It was blowing like maybe 12, 13 at the most. So we rode it out till dark, or almost dark, and then pointed for the barn. But never really had a whole bunch going all at one time. Just plunker bite on a drift, and that was pretty much all she wrote. Wasn't really phenomenal. I wish we could have got to hang out and fish that night bite. But I can tell you when I got off the boat at midnight or so, maybe it was 1 o'clock in Long Beach, the buoy at Tanner was showing 25 miles an hour. So it still came. It was just a couple hours behind schedule, but it is what it is, and that's the type of fishing we got going on here at the end of the season. So since then, there is no fishing at Tanner. There's been a little bit here at Cortez the last day or so. A couple boats have ventured out there. It's not great, guys. I'll tell you, the daytime fishing is not great when these fish are on the move. There's people that have been fishing on the east side here, the 381 to 267 or the Condom Bank. Seems like that's where most of the stuff has gone to, and it seemed like it had a little bit better surface signal the last day or so. So we'll see how it hangs out here into this wind. Really, how long these water temps hold up here is really going to be the deciding factor of how long this stuff hangs out, or if it even stays in this area. So typically, we got like that San Clemente Island bite in those previous years. We're kind of hanging on here. So I like these edges here. If this stuff moves off the 381 and the Condom, it's going to come more east. I like the 43. Maybe this bottom break here that we talked about last week as well. Still sporadic yellowfin being caught. Not a whole lot of volume. But if you hit the right school, you can definitely wreck shop. On the front side, there's been a little bit of a frontside bite here at San Clemente Island also with yellows. But again, not too many people are fishing the stuff. Why fish yellows and worry about conditions when we got bluefin? They're pretty much the same area code. So that's what's been going on with that. Other stuff that's going on, there's scattered stuff going on. It's not in giant numbers. So if you're expecting to go out there and have a day with it, good luck. Enjoy the day on the water. But this time of year, you cannot expect a high volume of fish. There's been some bluefin that popped up on the 14-mile bank sporadically the last few days, not every single day. And if you see it, it's not going to be a whole bunch of volume. So if they cooperate, awesome. But the likelihood that you're going to tear them up the next couple days, we'll see. But if you want to make a short run of it, or if you get tired of watching the rod tip bounce while you're fishing swordfish, and these bluefin pop up in the afternoon, then hey, something else to go after. Still a couple of sporadic kelp patties filled with Dorado here and there. Again, not a whole lot of volume. Really been on the ridge, 181 to 182. The northwest winds is kind of pushing stuff through here, so This warm water area is really going to see this stuff. Coming down south, bait-wise, there was squid on Tanner that came in with this cooler water. It's out there. We didn't fish for it off the bottom or anything, but it was definitely free swimming around, which tells me that there's a lot more of that around, or it's coming. There's also reports of squid coming in Catalina on the east end in the usual spots. There's not going to be any predators when it comes to like sea bass or anything yet. Way too early for that. Maybe you might find a random yellowtail hanging, chewing on it, maybe. But it's there. I think Nacho had some squid. Don't quote me, but that was a rumor. Or if he did, maybe it's gone. I don't know. We'll find out. But you don't really need it. So, but hey, this is just the marine cycle. So good to see that things are turning into winter mode and seeing all the signs here, getting ready for spring. Coming further south, you'll notice the San Diego and the other 3/4 day boats, fish counts have been down. Again, this wind has a lot to do with it, and it's wintertime. We're really going into wintertime here, so offshore fishing is pretty much drying up. So they're taking their fishing operation to the Coronado Islands starting November 1st, and not too many people have been fishing islands because it's kind of in wintertime mode, and a lot of sonar fishing, not a whole lot of surface signal. So fish, probably going to find some yellowtail around, not in a high volume or anything, and you're going to want to be using a good sonar or jump on a sport boat when in this type of wintertime mode. Dropper loop, yo-yos off the bottom, really got to get down there and get your bait in front of those fish. But that's pretty much it, guys. There's been some sporadic stuff down here, but really it's not worth chasing. Guys in Ensenada are just catching bonito. There's been a couple yellowfin caught down here too, but again, you're just kind of chasing rainbows at this point into the season here. So things are just slowly quieting down. That being said, we are putting up our sale of the year in our online store. We got a bunch of variable discounts to spend on how much money you spend. We have a giant web project and mobile app project we're working on. Hopefully this winter we're going to have everything ready for next year and get all bug tested. But yeah, we really want to focus on that and bring you even better content than we're already doing now. So that's it for this week, guys. Make sure you check out chasingpelagics.com for all the latest, greatest fishing tackle you need. And we'll be back next week with a fresh report. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out our website and online store at chasingpelagics.com. And make sure you share the stoke.